Here's a question for you. Can you run your whole business from a mobile phone? We're talking here bookkeeping, accountancy, and all of that sort of stuff. Well, is it possible? Can you really just use a small little device like this to get your business off the ground? Well, stay tuned and we're going to find out exactly if that's the case. Hello, my name is Owen Patrick. I am a chartered accountant, a certified UK trainer, fancy new logo, that QuickBooks chap on the internet, head of accounts here at Boffix, and also your friendly podcaster that goes live on every Monday at 8:30 a.m. with Ask the Accountant. Now, one thing that you need to know about me is I love using my computer. There's nothing more rewarding for me than grabbing a laptop, going out, grabbing the information that I need, and then be able to make sure that I'm producing the best quality work that I can. But that doesn't mean to say that having a laptop or a powerful PC is necessary for running your business. In fact, there is apps nowadays that you could just use on a simple mobile phone. And that's what we're going to look at today. Is it actually possible for you to run your whole business from one of these bad boys? Well, let's go and have a look and see if that's the case. As you can see in front of me here, I have my mobile phone ready. Now, first of all, how would I even run my business from my mobile phone? Well, I'm going to need an app, aren't I? So let's go to the App Store. And being the QuickBooks chap, you know which app I'm going to be jumping into. Let's have a look. QuickBooks. And I'm actually going to be looking at running the QuickBooks accounting one. You'll notice that there's one with a white background, one with a green background, and it's the green one I need. Now, if you're looking to get yourself your first version of QuickBooks, have a look and see what offers are already there. But if there's no offers on at the moment, head over to our accounting practice, Boffix, and go to our website using the links below. You'll be able to get yourself a discounted version of QuickBooks, so you're not having to overpay for it. Right, so I've got myself into QuickBooks at this point in time. What have I got in front of me? Well, you can see here that this is my front page, and it's giving me lots of actions already. And it's telling me, because I've already started using this one, that I've got stuff I need to do. And for me, this is the real power of it. It's about making sure that I know what I need to do. At the moment, if I get this right, I've got £13,298 of potential deductions. That means that I could save myself quite a lot of bit of tax there. So it's giving me the opportunity to make sure I'm on top of it. As I scroll through here, it's got some quick actions at the top, and we'll explore what they mean in a moment. But I've also got the opportunity to see some invoices and get some information of what's there. At the moment, I've got £35 of unpaid invoices at this point in time. Probably want to get on top of that and make sure that I'm going to get that right. And then for me becomes the most powerful part about this whole solution. As you can see there, it's connected directly to my bank accounts, and those bank accounts can be interacted in accordingly. So if I jump into the My Business area, this is going to give me an opportunity to see how my business is doing. As you can see there, I made a net loss this period, so not great at all, but at least I can see exactly what's going on, and it's giving me a nice little indication of how that's going. I can see how my expenses are doing in a particular month, how my mileage has been, and we'll talk about more about what that means later. But if I go to my menu and transactions, let's look at the most important bit about this whole area. And this is the area where we get to actually connect our bank account. It tells me there that the connection has stopped syncing. So how do I reauthorize that? Well, I'm going to go and authenticate that account. Basically, it's telling me that I need to reauthenticate to continue seeing some update. So if I click on the account itself and authenticate it, reconnect, make sure I'm happy with it and agree with it, my business account. It's actually making it super simple for me. All I'm doing is going through, making sure I'm happy, authorize it, and just like that, I've now connected my bank account to QuickBooks Online. That means every time I make a payment or receive money into my bank account, it's going to appear directly in QuickBooks for me. So I can press OK. I can see now that my connection is active, so that's all good. And if I jump into my Revolut account, you can see now all of the transactions I've recently made are all appearing here, which means now I can just go through and explain what these are. So here we've got a London taxi. So I go in there, I can say that this is actually going to be for travel, and all I need to do is type travelling expenses in there. If I am VAT registered, I can then go through and put the VAT element to it. All I need to do though is press accept. And now what I've done is I've accepted that transaction as quick as that. I've now been shown the next one, black cab. Well, again, that's going to be a travel expense, isn't it? So I go through and I put travel in. And I accept that one. And then keeps on coming. I've got another travel expense. Now, if I keep getting travel expenses like this one, I can even create a rule so that going forward, I don't need to keep putting this through. For this time around, I'm just going to put travel and accept it accordingly. Now I've got some income coming in, so I can say what sort of income this is. Well, I can say, well, actually, this is some fees that I sent out, and I can accept that as well. Here's me going to Tim Hortons, so I can go, well, that's some subsistence cost, and I can go through scrolling for these as well. So I can go, actually, you know what does this relate to? This was a meal, happy with that, press accept, bring that through. So it makes it really easy for me, basically, and if I do this little and often, I'm able to keep on top of my bank. And it's literally a case of finding the transaction, clicking on it, and then be able to state what type of transaction it's going to be. So remember the question I said at the beginning, is it possible to run your whole business? Well, so far, I can definitely use QuickBooks to be able to record all of the bank transactions I have, just by connecting it and going through and putting it on this little device. But what else can I do? Well, keeping on the theme of expenses, this is one of the most cleverest bits, I think. Imagine I've just got this receipt and I didn't use my bank account to pay for it, unfortunately. I paid for it cash or a different credit card or debit card or whatever it's going to be. So how do I get that into here? Well, I could just go through, and there is an option in here somewhere called expense. There it is, look. And I could click on expense and I could make that transaction appear in QuickBooks and write all the numbers in. Or I could be even more clever about it. And with the snap receipt functionality, as you can see just there, it activates my camera for me, finds the receipt, presses capture, and now I can rotate the photo if I need to, retake the photo, or I could even just sort out it so that I can crop only the bit that I'm interested in for there. And then the clever bit is if I press use this photo, that transaction is now being uploaded directly to QuickBooks Online. So think about what that's done for me. First of all, it's been able to bring in the ability for me to be able to actually have a copy of that transaction. So that's going to help me massively, isn't it? Even more important for me is the fact that it's actually extracted that information. So if I click into the transaction, I can view that receipt if I want to. So there's that receipt that we've just looked at. But it's noticed it was £58. It noticed that what tax was available to it. If you are VAT registered, you can bring that one in. And it said, how did you make the payment? So I can put that in there. But notice how it's automatically found entertainment. It's automatically found 58. It's automatically put a date in for me. This is really clever. It's taken the information from the receipt. It's basically read that information for you and brought it directly in here. And I find that really, really powerful. So with that then, I can press save receipt. And I've now recorded that transaction. And all I actually did from this, and I can create expense from it, and all I actually did, remember, was take a photo using the camera just there. Really powerful stuff. Now, again, on expenses side, another cool tip is I can run my mileage directly from QuickBooks as well. And I don't have to manually do any of this. You can see here that it's already looked at my last however many days that I've got, and it's given me an opportunity to see what the transactions are. And all I need to do is go and say if it's personal or business, and it's going to record that mileage for me. And what it uses is GPS functionality, and I jump in my car, and when I jump in my car on here, then what's going to happen is it's going to find where I'm going from A to B, figure out how much mileage that's going to be, and then it gives me an opportunity to swipe left or right to say if it's personal or business. What's even more clever about that is you can set rules as well. So I can go in, I can create a rule at the bottom here, or add my own trip if I want to, if it hasn't used the magic of GPS. But if I create a rule, I can say that every time I go from here to the post office, well, that's a business expense. So make sure I'm recording it each and every time. Now, this is really cool. Now, everything we looked at, we've been looking at on this little mobile phone. But what if I need a little bit more real estate? Well, I can just grab an iPad. From an iPad, I can do exactly the same thing. I've got everything we've just talked about. At the top here, I've got those quick actions. Yes, there's a little bit of different UI here, but functionality-wise, it's exactly the same. This is the same data. And all I've done is switch from one device to the other. Now, what I really like about doing this, and I can do this on my phone if I want to, but I can create estimates. So if I'm out and about with a client, I could be talking to them and I could be creating the estimate while we speak. So let's say I've got this North A customer just here, and I'm going to tell them that they've got until the end of the week to be able to get this estimate in. I also want to tell them how much or what products we want to sell them. And I've got this stock example and I want to sell them 50 of these items. All right, quite a considerable amount of estimate here. This is quite a large amount of money that we're going to be asking them to do here. I could add that just there, and I can add multiple products and services. I can even put messages on, but I can save that just now. Now, in fact, if I go to estimates on here, you can just see that that £25,000 we've just created is there as well. All right, so it's on both devices, and on both devices, if I need my client then to agree that estimate, yes, I can send the estimate. There's a nice little send button just here, and I could go and send an email to them if I need to. But what I can also do is grab a signature of them. I can do that on the mobile phone as well, but it's even better. I can hand over the iPad to them. They go, yeah, I'm definitely happy with that one. Put their signature in, convert it to an invoice, press done, and straight away I am saving that estimate, converting it to an invoice, and getting it ready to send it over to that customer. Really quick, really easy. Best thing is I'm talking about it through my customer at that point in time. I'm not having to go home later down the line and then hope that I can remember what was said and maybe go to my laptop and create the thing and maybe having to remember what it was and send it there and hope that they've agreed with it. I've done it all there and then, just using an iPad, or remember, just using this little mobile as well. And as I said, here it is, the estimate sat there, £25,000. And if I go to invoices, I can look at the invoice I've just created, nice and happy with that one. And from here, I can even preview and send it directly. Now, what I really like about this is you get that nice little bar along the top there. And what that bar there is telling me, is if I've sent it, if the client's viewed it, if they've paid it, if they've deposited it. At any point, I can keep an eye on all of my income and make sure that I'm on top of it. And it doesn't just stop there. From here, I have a whole CRM solution. If I need to go to a customer, figure out where a customer is, so let's go to Adwin Co. At the top there, I've got the telephone number, I've got their text message number if I want to send a text, email, or I can even get the location, so I can use SatNav on my phone to get me to wherever I need to go. And the solution's really, really clever as well. Suddenly it now made me have a much better, healthier profit now. I've got 41,000 as I sold some more items there, and I've got my expenses coming through as well. But also it's giving me a breakdown of what my expenses are. I can look at even more reports and see what's going on and just have a good indication of how my business is doing. So my initial question was, can you run your whole business just from a mobile phone and even an iPad or whatever that you've got lying around? And the answer is, of course you can. A lot of our businesses now, this is their only way of being able to interact with QuickBooks Online. And they've been able to do everything they need just from this one device. Now, obviously, as your business grows, you may come to a point where you need more than just this device to be able to complete your day-to-day tasks. But the great thing is, if that's the case, then this is still a companion app to your solution. You can still send and receive invoices on here. You can still make sure you're recording your expenses properly. You can do your bank transactions from this here. This device never goes away. It never finishes or never stops being useful for your business. You can continue to utilize it for what it's good for. And for me, that's the power of this. This is always going to be a solution for you that you just have in your pocket and available at any time. For me, just being able to quickly go in and maybe check to see what my balance is at any point in time is really powerful. Or making sure that so-and-so has actually paid me when they said they had done. I can just quickly check on here as opposed to having to go through and sign into different solutions and everything else. Always available for me, it's in my pocket, it's easy for me to access. And with it being all cloud-based, I make an adjustment here, well, those adjustments are automatically happening in my main account as well. And we have clients as well where they may have people who are out and about, maybe they're going around fixing boilers or whatever it's going to be. Well, they can have this as their way of being able to run their business and be able to send and create estimates and send quotes and everything else, while people back at the office are making sure that everything's working well in terms of compliance point of view. And that works really well as well. And don't forget, your accountant can see all this as well. So at Boffix, all of our clients, they have the opportunity to be able to let us see exactly what's going on. Meaning we get real-time information of how their business is doing, and we can help and act accordingly. And for me, that's where the power of a solution like this becomes invaluable. So can you run your business just on a mobile phone? You most certainly can. A lot of businesses are. And for me, if you're first starting out, this could be the most simplistic and simplified way of making sure that you are on top of what your compliance requirements are going to be. At Boffix, our whole motto is that we want to make sure that small businesses don't just survive, but thrive. And for me, making sure you start from day one with a proper solution that's going to look after your business is the best way to go. And this little bad boy here, one little app can make sure that your business is always going to be compliant going forward. I love the QuickBooks app. I think it's really, really powerful, and I think it's something that you should definitely consider for your business. But what do you think? Are there any other apps out there we should be looking at? I know Xero, Sage, and all that lot have apps as well, but for me, QuickBooks is the only app that has the full-blown solution, has the most features, and has an opportunity to be able to really empower your business. But let me know if I've missed anything. Also, is there anything else in the app that you love? Is there anything you want to shout about? Let me know in the comments below, and we'll be able to make sure that we can maybe bring that into a future video. My name has been Aaron Patrick. This video has been an absolute pleasure to do for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because we've got more content coming along, especially on the app itself, some new features that we know is on its way, and also some new features that come into the full version of QuickBooks as well. This place is the best place for you to make sure you have everything you need regarding QuickBooks Online. And with all the new features that are coming out lately, it's never been a better time to subscribe. So don't forget to like and subscribe, maybe even use that little bell button, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.